Hello everyone, welcome back to the Film Insight channel. In today's video, we're going to cover the most ungrateful owners to appear on Bar Rescue. So, sit back, relax, and without further ado, let's get straight into the content, guys. We're starting things off with Underground Wonder Bar.
Wonder Bar!
Jon Taffer stopped by the Underground Wonder Bar in the Chicago neighborhood of River North. Lonnie Walker, the owner of Underground Wonder Bar, bought the place in an attempt to start a music venue of her own. After more than 10 years of performing in various clubs throughout Chicago, she established the bar in 1989. For 21 years, Walker successfully ran the bar. She was compelled to leave the building in 2011 when it was auctioned for a city development project. After borrowing more than $360,000 from friends and relatives, Walker was able to relocate her pub to River North, Chicago. Walker was left with unused space, an unmotivated staff, and more than $500,000 in mounting debt. This was only because she failed to adapt to the new clientele. The difference between Walker's current rent and her previous rent was $18,000 monthly. Despite all the loss, Taffer finds it very difficult to understand why Walker was still stuck in her old ways. Taffer begins to lock horns with the musician/owner pretty early on into the rescue. While Jordan, Walker's son, was pleading for help and guidance, Walker denied anything that was being offered. According to Taffer, he had never seen a bar more out of place within its surroundings than this one. When Taffer sat for a private chat with Walker to understand her a little better, he noticed something pretty odd. Walker mindlessly doodled on paper instead of paying attention to what he was saying.
I'm here to make you money and help your future. And I am telling you, either pick a dream or pick your money.
When Taffer urged her to respond, she made a very rude comment.
I don't trust you at all.
Okay, then I'll get up and go.
Whatever.
By now, Taffer had understood that Walker was unlike any other owner. According to him, Walker was the most challenging owner he's ever met. After a bit of coercing, Walker finally gave in and agreed to sign the documents to change the bar's name and undertake the necessary renovations. Funnily enough, Taffer had more faith in Jordan than his mother. He believed that Jordan had genuine potential to run the bar, and it would be very prosperous if Walker just backed off and let her son run it. During the stress test, several more issues surfaced. The drinks took too long, Walker was no help, and the kitchen was overwhelmed with orders. Taffer asked Jordan to shut the place down and seal it for the night. The following morning, Walker apologizes to Taffer for her aversion to change, but claims she was now prepared to adapt.
I apologize for what appears to be a resistance to change. I'm ready to change.
Let's make this official.
Jordan was named as general manager and 2 new drinks were added to the menu. After 36 hours, Taffer invites Walker and the staff for the grand unveiling. And this is how Walker reacted.
Great food.
It's very clear that it's not Underground Wonder Bar. I was hoping that I would like the name. I don't.
Walker didn't like the new name nor the exterior of the bar. She looked very disappointed and even shared her feelings of this with Taffer. On the other hand, the staff and Jordan were overjoyed with the new changes. But once Walker steps in, her perspective changes. She appreciated the changes and expressed her love for what she had experienced.
I'm just really excited to see inside, honestly.
During the relaunch, Jordan did a fantastic job as a general manager. Under his care, the bar would soon be successful. 6 weeks later, the sale of food and beverages was up by 30%. But days after Taffer left, Walker took down the clear bar sign. They promptly readopted their former name, and the doodling crayons found their way back into the bar. In September of 2017, Underground Bar closed its doors for good. Moving on to the next entry being Empty Bottle.
Look at this! Smell it!
I don't want to smell it.
Tracy Bigford started the beer-only bar, Empty Bottle, at Tennessee's Murfreesboro in 2008. He had hired Gina to be his manager and later married her. Bigford used redneck engineering to keep the bar together, and the bartenders dressed in skimpy clothes to draw in more customers. Initially, the bar did have a large biker clientele, but soon they got sick of the beer-only menu. Gradually, patrons started bringing their own liquor in brown bags. While Bigford never really cared that much, Gina was the only person who gave her best at the bar. Taffer was shocked to discover that the owners were $250,000 in debt and lacked a liquor license.
$1 a drink, that's $350 in lost sales.
Right. I have found the bar model.
The famous rescuer even learned that they didn't have enough money to pay their staff or even try to buy a liquor license. With poor management, no kitchen, an untrained staff, a lack of resources, and an irresponsible owner, Taffer was saddened by the state of the bar. They didn't even have a proper bottle separation and disposal unit. Taffer offers to pay for the liquor license and hands Gina the new permit. At the unveiling of the bar, Gina was utterly disappointed with the name change. And this is the explanation Taffer gave to her.
I built the bar for the marketplace. We have $27,000 a year household income. If I made it too nice, what would happen, Brandy?
You're mistaken if you thought her opinion changed once she saw the interior. While the rest of the staff found the interior to be incredible, here's how Gina reacted.
Hello. The concepts took me back to the holler.
Oh, definitely.
Taffer explains that he had to do it for the marketplace and didn't mean to hurt her. Gina finally changed her mind after seeing the patrons happy with the new decor and the good service. 6 weeks later, the bar was on track to making $30,000 that month. Once business picked up, the owners oddly decided to go back to their old name. However, by doing so, they lost their liquor license. Sadly, in April of 2019, Bigford passed away, and in December of the same year, the bar was sold for $325,000. On to the last entry, and perhaps the most ungrateful of them all, Extremes.
You know what that is? That's an hole.
Yeah.
Jon Taffer travels to Orange, California to rescue Terry Bryant's bar named Extremes. This bar had so many issues that it needed to be rescued not only once, but twice. In 2003, Bryant, a former gardener, purchased the Bikini Sports Bar, and during the busiest months, he easily made $12,000.
Some of them are half naked, some are wearing torn shorts, some are in bathing suit tops. If we want to present our girls in a sexual way, there's a class way to do it.
He was known to distribute alcohol valued at $1,000 while neglecting the maintenance of the facility. At the time that this episode was taped, Bryant lost $3,000 a month and owed $88,000 more. When Taffer spots Bryant taunting him on camera, he gets infuriated and storms into the bar. He immediately smells the odor and yells at a heavily drunk Bryant, who was supposed to be in charge of the staff.
It's hard to be in here, it smells so bad.
Brown, you certainly have changed.
Hi. Terry?
Yes.
I'm Jon Taffer. Irresponsible owner I've ever seen. I can't tolerate it. It infuriates me.
The following morning, Taffer comes back and organizes a staff meeting. Bryant disagrees with Taffer's insistence that he maintain sobriety, but he knows that he needs Taffer's support, so he agrees. Upon further inspection, it was found that the kitchen was awful and might not have even been cleaned for months. The improper temperature also caused the beer to foam, which costed them hundreds of dollars. Taffer discovered a hole in the floor when he lifted the beer trays during the inspection. Since the staff didn't seem to be taking the training very seriously, a metronome was used to time the pours. To see the staff's performance in greater detail, Taffer organizes a bar test and presents Bar Vision, a tracking app, to avoid overpouring. During the stress test, Taffer noticed that the bartenders were not following the instructions that he gave them. There was no teamwork, and Brian did nothing to assist as the bar ran out of glassware. But all things came to a halt when the most disgusting thing happened. One of the patrons discovered rat poop in their beer. This incident was a clear sign that the bar had to be shut down as soon as possible, and that's precisely what Taffer did. The following day, when Taffer was discussing the disastrous service, Brian threatened Taffer to leave if he didn't stop yelling at him. However, they finally sat down for a quick chat to settle their issues.
When you say it like that without yelling, I understand it a lot better. But
Do you?
with you? Yeah, but with you yelling, it doesn't sink in. You yelling doesn't do anything for me. I put up with it long enough, and you do that to me next time, I just walk away. I'm not gonna stand there and take it anymore.
After everything was said and done, the bar was renovated and the girls were called in for a photo shoot to feature in a new sports calendar.
By shooting a great upscale but sexy calendar, I'll have a marketing tool that sends the right message about this bar and it'll help me fill it.
The newly renamed second base is introduced to the staff. In addition to brand new televisions, they also had unique glassware, a shot machine, a turbo tap system, and a sports package. The staff now had a new uniform and the floor was restored. On the night of the relaunch, there were a lot of patrons, but the service was slow. However, the patrons were pleased when they got their drinks and food. The revamp was a success and Taffer was very happy about it. Sales were up by 20 to 30% a month after Bar Rescue, and the new manager, Gary, was doing a fantastic job running the bar. Soon after though, negative reviews started surfacing. Most of them spoke about an awful bar stench, the poor food quality, rude bartenders, and the uneven quality of drinks. A fatal shooting in November of 2013 in the bar's parking lot further affected the bar's business. And so, Bar Rescue had to return to the establishment in 2015 to save it after the condition continued to deteriorate. Since the first rescue, Brian had paid off his debts with the money he made instead of reinvesting it back into the bar. The bar was back to being awful yet again and was in desperate need of repairs. After abandoning the uniforms, Brian resorted to bartenders and servers clad in bikinis to pump up his business. When the other rival sports bars opened, Brian couldn't handle the stress, so Bar Rescue was back to doing what it does best, rescuing failing bars. The manager Gary explained to Taffer that the bar continued to fail due to a lack of proper funding. He admitted that Gary had never been granted complete authority over the bar after the first rescue. When Taffer returns the following day, he notices that the bar is still not cleaned. When he has a chat with the staff, he finds out that Brian treated his staff as disposable and that he held the rescue responsible for his failure. When Taffer brings in Lisa, a great bartender who also helps clean the counters, Brian gets very defensive. But Taffer was here for the staff members who had shown immense dedication to the establishment and not for Brian. The stress test discloses many loopholes in the management of the bar. The food service was poor and the drinks were overly strong. To avoid alienating potential customers, Taffer was compelled to close the bar. Taffer comes up with a plan to rescue the bar that will cost $100,000. But here's the catch. Brian had to invest $30,000 personally to demonstrate his dedication to the bar's future. Taffer refuses to help Brian any further when things start going south and he just walks away. Despite the failed attempt at rescuing the bar, it's a surprise that the second base is still open to this day. With that, we've sadly come to the end of the video. Who do you think is the most ungrateful owner? Let us know in the comments section down below. Don't forget to give us a like and a share. Also hit the subscribe button to never miss out on our updates. Thanks for watching, guys.